batteries are being placed. Play. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. Oh my, oh my, oh my.
Thank you so much, Sister Ayla, for that beautiful, exquisite music and song. And such a heartfelt welcome for all of you. Oh, before I say anything, I should officially do this. Okay, now we are all convened, so I can now officially speak. So once again, a very heartfelt welcome to this beautiful circle of love in person. And I'm so delighted that we are large in numbers, the largest since the pandemic started. And a very heartfelt welcome to those online. But I'm particularly happy that Sister Sasha is here. So honored, so delighted. So once again, a very, very heartfelt welcome to you for this beautiful circle of love.
We have a special opening that Chris will lead us in. And this is a poem that David Heitmiller wrote. And we wanted to open our members' worship celebration with this poem.
Good morning to, what a wonderful turnout. Thank you very much all for coming. Happy New Year to everybody and to everyone online. Karen had asked me to honor our brother in spirit, David Heitmiller, and I'd like to do that by reading his poem, The Sanctuary, which he wrote in February of 2018. Come to the sanctuary, come one and come all, faithful practitioners of any and all religions, or none at all. Come to the sanctuary, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, Christian, Sikh, or Jew, we welcome you. Our door is open. Come to the sanctuary. Humanist, atheist, truth seeker, witch, pagan, First Peoples, we honor your spiritual path. We listen to your journey. Our door is open to you too. Come to the sanctuary, Catholic or Protestant, Orthodox or Reformed, Shia or Sunni, Tibetan or Zen, agnostic or unknown. Our door is open. This could be your home. Thank you, David.
So we have a couple of rituals that we do at the beginning of our services in order to help create sacred space. Of course, our space is sacred because you are here. So connect with yourself, honor yourself for being present, honor yourself for valuing community, and helping us create sacred space. One of the things we remind ourselves is that we are on Coast Salish people's land, and specifically the Duwamish tribe. So take a moment and imagine all of the first peoples who were here from time immemorial, and here we are in their space, and they have kindly welcomed us and offered us hospitality. So take a moment and call them to your mind and open your heart to all of those who came before us and all of those who will follow after us. And another ritual that we do to help create our sacred space is to call in the ancestors, and we also offer an offering for the Divine Feminine. And I have a reading here, a prayer, that does both of those. So I invite you to join me in prayer. Higher power, creator, divine mother, Ma, Spider Woman, White Buffalo Calf Woman, Kali, Mary Magdalene, Bridget, Lakshmi, Kuan Yin, Devi, all that is. You go by many names and you are one. We thank you for the many blessings you shower upon us. Thank you for loving us. We ask humbly for all our ancestors through all time, space, dimensions, realms, lives, lifetimes, and incarnation. Please help us all to find unity within and radiate it out to the rest of the world. Help us through our forgiveness to know the liberation of our entire lineage and pass that vibration out to all of our descendants. Please, and thank you. Help us to see each other and ourselves through your eyes. Help us find peace with one another and ourselves. Help us to release the shackles of the past, rise up in our full radiance, and take our rightful place in the world. Help us love one another and ourselves, now and forever. Please and thank you. Say that with me. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Amen. prayer for us. And this one you'll participate in if you would. At the end of each verse, we say, "In the name of all that is, we come." And that sentence is in your order of service with the opening prayer. So this prayer is called "In the Name of It All." In the name of all that is, we come together. In the name of the stars and galaxies, in the name of the planets, moons, and the sun, in the name of all that is, we come. So say that with me. In the name of all that is, we come. In the name of all that is, we come together. In the name of the oceans and the sea, in the name of the mountain, desert, and plain, say with me. In the name of all that is, we come. In the name of all that is, we come together. In the name of the buffalo and bear, in the name of the turtle, eagle, and whale, say with me. In the name of all that is, we come. In the name of all that is, we come together. In the name of the cactus and the fern, in the name of the flower, tree, and herb, say, in the name of all that is, we come. In the name of all that is, we come together. In the name of the elements of life, in the name of the soil, water, and air, say, in the name of all that is, we come. In the name of all that is, we come together. In the name of the children of earth, in the name of the Spirit, breathing in all things, say with me, in the name of all that is, we come. Thank you. And so now we've invited Sally Jo and George to share with us some gratitude and acknowledgement. So we want to.
So this morning, we're going to begin with a kind of a reiteration of what's been accomplished in 2022. And it's going to sound a little bit like a list or a litany of events, but I really want to make sure that right up front we're clear that what this really is a kind of a depiction or verbal visualization of spiritual companionship, how working together we've accomplished so much in 2023. And what's remarkable is when you hear all of that, what's happened, is it was done with the minimum use of this facility. It isn't really being utilized to its capacity to any extent. And so as you're listening to this, consider opportunities that you may have to share your gifts, your knowledge, your experience with the rest of us, or people you know, introduce them to our society as well. So we're going to start today talking about projects, just a place to begin. And we've done a lot of mini little projects in 2022, but by far the most monumental has been dealing with the flood issue that we had a little more than a year ago now. And when that happened, the fellowship hall, the kitchen, much of the area downstairs was flooded. And that beautiful floor that we had down there, that cork floor that Michael had so lovingly put that, what do you call those things?
Labyrinth?
That's it, labyrinth, had to be torn up. And then a series of events had to take place as a result of that. And we were very lucky in our community. We had one man, Charles Pony Ellingson here, who decided to take the bull by the horns and be the project manager for this and basically orchestrate all of the other things that had to be done.
Yeah.
The first thing we had to do is we had to empty the basement out. We had to take everything that was in that flooded area and remove it. And you don't realize how much you have. If you ever moved a home, you recognize it. How much stuff you have until you have to move it. But we had to move everything out and pull up the floor. And luckily, Chris, Joey, Michael Bayless, I was like, he's here today, and Pony again, and Paul Kramer, who was here as well, and myself, we managed to get the whole floor pulled up by collective effort, a lot of hands, made a small work, and we were able to take the floor out in less than half a day. It was quite lovely. And then the Pony had to arrange for the outside contractor to come in and grind the floor, polish the floor. Michael Bayless and I did a diversion of the downspouts. All of the water was collecting right against the foundation. I don't know whether or not it's going to completely eliminate the flooding. That's yet to be seen. But I came here the other day when it was pouring rain, and checking to make sure that it wasn't just coming over the gutters. And that little pipe that goes out there on these, I guess it must be the southwest corner, was gushing like if you opened a fire hydrant and let the water come out. It was coming with velocity. That's how much water was coming down. So what we do know is we're diverting a significant amount of water away from what would have collected right against the foundation. So there is that. Zach, is Zach here this morning? Zach Brown, really, he spearheaded getting the grant, and none of this would have been accomplished had not the grant been given to us, which covered a sizable portion of the cost of that project. From Floriculture, I'm sorry, yes. And then we started the process of continuing to measure to try to analyze what the problem is. As we're trying to mitigate with whatever we can do, we're trying to do some scientific methods. And again, Pony and Zach started doing water measurements to try to determine where our water table actually is. Paul Kramer came in and did a gutter cleaning, cleaned out all the gutters, which used to be filled with debris, cut some of the tree limbs back, and another mitigation project. Then the new polished floor, another labyrinth, was again with Steve and Michael together. They painted a new labyrinth now that we had an opportunity to enjoy just a week ago. We repaneled the foyer downstairs, which also just was filled with soaking wood and unfortunately beginning of mold and everything else. Steve, Ed Koch, and Dan Rowe did the foyer drain. Had to actually knock out all the concrete and repair the drain. And so all those projects took place as a result of a little bit of water getting into the basement. And I wish I could say this was the end of it, but it is not. It is just simply where we are. Just got a thing from Pony the other day that he continues to do measurements. I didn't like what I heard necessarily, but again, when I came in the other day, even though it was really raining, I saw no sign of flooding where it had been flooding before. And so we keep cautiously optimistic. The other major project this year was live streaming. And Rich, you've done just a wonderful, wonderful job week after week after week. And Zach Brown and Michael Douglas, of course, have also contributed to keeping that thing going. At times it's finicky, has a mind of its own, and you have to kind of coax it sometimes, and it's been well done. Gretchen, Chris, and myself have begun training in the process, but we're not where these guys are at yet, but we're going to try to get there. Now, Sally Jo, turn it over to you.
Thank you, George. And I want to step in here and say that was what George just went through were our special projects. not to forget that there are daily things, daily projects that go on and weekly projects that go on that our man George is mainly in charge of now. And thank you for reading David Heitmiller's poem this morning, because that was a very personal and tender reminder for us, for David, who was for so many, many years the main steward of this historic building that was built in 1890 and is still standing and in good order. And that doesn't just happen, folks. You know, buildings deteriorate unless we treat them like a loving member of our family. And George has really been helpful, you know, replacing light bulbs, fixing stuck windows, you know, fixing broken windows, doing this, doing that, all over the building when smaller things arise. And thank you for being available and being able at the other end of the phone to say, David, the toilet's flooding, or, I mean, instead of David, say, George, the toilet's flooding, and help us figure out what to do right this minute. So thank you for all of that. So then we move into kind of the events, the services, and the beautiful gatherings that we have here when people get together and come in our sanctuary and come on our Zoom platform when it turns out to be something like that. And a lot of planning and energy and spiritual muscle goes into these events. So we kind of went through, and I'm sure we please forgive us ahead of time. We didn't remember every single event that happened, even the special ones. We tried to get the most big in our mind, the most important ones. In April, it was the first month that we had a major event, was our Mumuna event, which was the Jewish community and the Muslim community and the Christian community coming together in an event where we celebrated the end of Ramadan, the end of the Jewish high holidays. We were almost at the end of Ramadan, and it all came in the same month. And this is a tradition that goes way back in history, of the Jewish and Muslim neighbors coming together and honoring each other's holidays in a very special way. And that was a beautiful event. That was held here alive in the sanctuary in April. Then in May, we had the Night of Destiny, which was another Muslim event around Ramadan, which is the very end of Ramadan. It was like the very next day, actually, after the Mumuna event. And we had another in-person event, which we have every year, to celebrate the Night of Destiny, when the first verses of the Quran were revealed to the Prophet Muhammad. And then in July, we had three events. We had from South Africa, Naomi Mwangi and Garrett Evans from the GERI program, the Gender Equity Reconciliation Institute. They did a taste of GERI. They held a workshop where people got introduced to gender reconciliation work, and they led that here in early July. Then we had our climate summit at the end of July, which was put on with Northwest Interfaith and Interfaith Community Sanctuary, and that was a part of our, that was the theme of our annual interfaith, what do we call that? Interfaith Summit. Is that what we call it every year? We get together and we get interfaith people, and we actually held that over at St. Patrick's Catholic Church in Broadway, because in the Broadway neighborhood, because they were closing that church. That church was being closed by the Catholic diocese, and it was the last event they could have there. And we thought that was a very special reason, and we held part of it outside in the park by St. Patrick's Church, and they were very much a part of our planning and our use, and we used, and also the climate, the youth from Peace Camp International joined that. So these things all came together in July because Peace Camp was happening right here in our own sanctuary, and Gretchen Rowe, and then our counselors from our director, Gretchen Rowe, of course, let's give her a hand. That's been going on for 12, 13, 14, 15, a long time now. We're losing track. And we keep track of it by Emerson's birthdays. That's how we basically figure out how long that's been going on. But anyway, we also had Bernard Moose and from India, from Maher, we had Mangesh Pol, who has been a longtime peace counselor, and we had many children from the area joining that, and that was a 2-week Peace Camp International session here in the sanctuary for 2 weeks. We had talent shows every week and invited people, and it was really wonderful. So the young people, as I said, also participated in the Climate Summit, which was the Sunday after Peace Camp ended. So all that was in July. In August, we had the musicians, Imam and Mahalakshmi, were guests of yours, I think, Suniai, and that was a beautiful concert. And then in September, we had our annual members spiritual retreat in early September. In October, Tahil Sharma, who is the North American Regional Coordinator for United Religions International, came for a week-long visit and held meetings with different groups of sanctuary members and with our ministers, and participated in some of our events and services, and talked with us and gave us a lot of encouragement and inspiration. Then in November, Steve Crawford, you did your wonderful music and discussion evening with folks here, and we had our annual Praise and Thanksgiving service, which was again an interfaith gathering that's been going on for many years, 25 years. And we had Girish Mahindri, another one of our Indian born, from Maher, our Peace Camp counselors, who wasn't here at Peace Camp, but he came later, and so he was our MC for that event, the Praise and Thanksgiving event, which we also co-sponsored with some other organizations, including Northwest Interfaith. Then in December, we had the Reverend Stephen Marshall, the Queen of Heaven Gnostic Church, and Reverend Samuel Osborne from the Hagia Sophia Gnostic Church come here for a special service and ceremony. And finally, last night, Jonathan Van Halen gave a New Year's Eve meditation special offering that happened last evening, and I'm sure that went very well too. I wasn't there, but were you there, George? It went very well. Okay. And then, of course, we have our ongoing gatherings, which happen every week in this. Now, remember, there's a lot of people involved in these events. So, as George was saying, you can be thinking, and I know I'm thinking, which of these events did I personally attend? Which did I gain some spiritual inspiration from? Which could be something I could see myself being interested in the future, or something that reminds me of a way that I get spiritual nourishment? How can I make it part of the community of spiritual seekers that we are all, and that we're trying to reconnect with each other after a difficult time when we've been so, actually, I'll have to say, separate and lonely in our own little cabins at home, and trying to do this all on our own. So our ongoing gatherings that we hear about every week, thanks to Karen's emails and reminders, we have the Women's Sisiwas Medicine Circle with Sasinqui Laura Boucher, who also often gives other special monthly Sunday gatherings, but that happens every week. We have the Course in Miracles, which is led by Chris Holland. We have Exploring Rumi's Masnawi by Hafiz Michael Belis, and there are 2 classes a week in that. We have Sitting in Silence, which George sponsors every Thursday. We have Friday prayers in the Islamic tradition, which Ann Holmes Redding, Bahia, runs and leads that, and every week, every Friday. And then the Mevlevi Order of America Zikr, which happens, I think, once a month or periodically throughout the year, that is also open to the public, which Michael and Karen and other folks from the Mevlevi Order of America.
I just want to mention one thing.
Yeah.
And I think this is kind of an homage to the poem that Chris read from David. When you hear that list, the cross-section of various beliefs, inputs, knowledge, wisdom that's being shared in that small list right there.
Right.
And then look, again, within ourselves, what gifts can we each pull to bring? Because I know they're out there. I'm not sure what the hesitancy is, but maybe take this opportunity to examine it and say, what gift do I have that I can share? Why can't I be on this list next year?
And then we have wider missions, which have been going on mostly for many years as a part of our community. And we always have you know, in many, the word mission, I'm a little allergic to the word mission because the connotation for me is, has to do with, you know, Christian conversion, you know, like people, Christian missionaries going and trying to convert people to their way of belief. And that's not how we use the word mission in this community. But a mission, if you look at another meaning of the word, as a mission is something you're determined to do. When you're on a mission, you want to accomplish something really important. And our missions here at Interfaith Community Sanctuary, we have Project Ethiopia and our own Judith Sanderman, who was the founder with her husband, Dennis Wilkins, of that project 18, 19 years ago. And it's been going ever since and going very, very strong. And our community has been a very strong supporter of this mission that happens in the Dongla region of Ethiopia. I went to Dongla for the first time this past fall and spent 2 weeks there. And we're still, our project there is incredible. And we had our two founders, yeah. We have our two Ethiopian project directors who are Workina and Awoke Genitu, who are brothers who live in Ethiopia, who Judy met and started the project with. They came to Seattle in May, and they visited the sanctuary and gave a little program here and talked about the project to people who were interested. And they also feel very connected to this community. You folks have to understand that halfway around the world in these places like India and Uganda and Ethiopia, Interfaith Community Sanctuary is a real place with real people who care about them. You gotta believe this, you guys, because it is absolutely true, and it's important. That brings me to Peace Camp International and now what we call United Village, because that Peace Camp that started as a summer day camp for Seattle youth has become something way bigger than that, and we've had presentations. Every year, and usually more than once a year, we have wonderful presentations about these missions where we go into depth about it. And now we have so many wonderful projects going on in Uganda and in Maher in India where we have shared Peace Camp, and they have shared their counselors, they have shared what they've learned about working with young people. We have shared what we know, and then it's gone on to all kinds of community work that goes beyond just a summer day camp. Truthfully, it goes way beyond that. And then we have the Soraya Attar Medical Center, which Jamal and his sister Isu started in 2014, and that's been going strong. And Isu, Jamal's sister, just came back from a month in Bangladesh visiting the clinic and is putting out a letter very soon to our people about what's going on there and what the new developments are there. So these missions spread is wide, and the work is good, and the work is very, very important. And it's not in the New York Times, but I'll tell you what, it's in the Interfaith Community Sanctuary Times, and we want to honor everybody for that. Let's give the projects all. And then I was asked to talk a little bit about our Sunday services, because this happens every Sunday. We have had 52 Sundays in the year of 2022, and we have not missed one. We didn't have a snow day, we didn't have an ice day, we didn't have a COVID day. This service has been going on. Well, I take that back, because we started back in person on March 1st, I think, or the first Sunday of March. We were doing Zoom in January and February and maybe March. I think it was maybe the first Sunday in April. Was it the first Sunday in April, Karen, that we actually started back in person? I had to look that up. But yeah, but so in January of 2022, we had our annual celebration like this online. In February, Siswinkle Laura Boucher was our guest speaker. Oh, let me go back a minute. The first Sunday of every month in the calendar year, most of you know, is our guest speaker Sunday. The second Sunday is our universal worship, led by Reverend Karen Lindquist and Michael Douglas and the ICS Shrugs, who've been trained, Rich and Joey and myself and Rabia, and there've been, did I get all the Shrugs? Okay. And then third Sunday is led by Imam Jamal Rahman, and he often has a guest with him. not always. And then the fourth Sunday is led by Reverend Karen Lindquist. So that's our usual run of the thing. And if we have a fifth Sunday, it's usually more of a community Sunday where we get together and do a lot of group work and group processing. But Reverend Karen also leads that fifth Sunday. So for the guest speakers, I want to make a point of this because as George was saying, these are people who many of whom came from outside our community or peripheral to, close to our community, but maybe not ministers here, who gave their special messages. And this has also been going on for many, 30 years or something. In January, we had, like today, our annual celebration on the first Sunday. The first Sunday of February was Swinkle Laura Boucher. The first Sunday in March was Sabiha and Khalid Rahman. They joined us from New York. Wasn't it, Jamal? Were they in New York? And they joined us and gave a special presentation all around our spiritual discernment for the year. And then Rabbi Anson Leitner was our guest in April. Chris and Lila Repshevitz were our guests in May. In June, we had arranged for Judith Laxer to come, but she had a death in her family that day. So that interrupted her ability to come that Sunday. She came later, but we did have our service that day, but we weren't able to have our guest speaker at that moment. In July, Nora Grace Elizabeth Udding. And in August, Isla Ross was our guest speaker, singer, chanter. In September, Reverend Judith Laxer from the Gaia Temple came back and did her Sunday that she had missed back in June. In October, George Ramirez gave us a wonderful study of Meister Eckhart and his spiritual path. And then in October, we had Father Centurio Olabaro from our Uganda Orphans Project here in person. Hey, folks, if Father Centurio can travel here from Uganda, we can travel from the other side of the town and get here, because he did a beautiful, beautiful presentation. Unfortunately, that was the Sunday I was in Ethiopia, and I was sitting on a couch there, eagerly turning on the internet. I had a good internet connection. I was so excited because I was going to hear his talk, and that was one Sunday that our internet didn't go through, and our streaming didn't go through, and I missed that talk. But I'll get that from him personally at a later date, don't worry. And then in November, Swinkle Laura Boucher came back, and also Isla Ross. Oh, we had 3 in November. Isla Ross, you were a guest speaker again in November. And then Anita, I saw you. Good to see you. You were also, how come I have 3 for November? Is that right? Oh, okay. So, that was part of Father Centurio's service. Okay. And then in December, Bahia Enholms Redding, whom I mentioned as the leader of our Friday prayer circle, was here. So we've had a very full year and hope to continue, and we're always looking for more suggestions on guest speakers from other traditions. So if you think of somebody you'd like to recommend, please let us know. And then throughout the year, service music was presented by Steve Crawford, who you heard this morning, Isla Ross, you'll be hearing more from this morning, myself. Jeffrey Steele did a lot of music with his classical guitar when we were on Zoom. He's up on Orcas Island, so we haven't seen him in person lately. Michael Douglas and his son Ezekiel did some music for us throughout the year. Birgit and Phil from Folkway Band were here, and then Monica Steele is Jeffrey's wife, and she did some music with him online in our Zoom programs. So we're very proud and very grateful. It's important to name all the various people, the energies, the variety of offerings that people bring that we call spirituality. And some people wouldn't know that working on a sacred building and making it a safe place for everybody, they might not consider that spirituality, but I do, and I think everyone here does. And that work, the work that we do to preserve this historic building, and the work that we do to have gatherings here and outside of it in whatever way we can, that's our spiritual work. It's our spiritual journey, and we're in it together. So thank you all for being here. Thank you.
tare tu tare tu re swaha. Om 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 tare tu re swaha. Om.
All right, this isn't on the program, but Karen asked me earlier if there was something I wanted to say at this service. And there is something I'd like to say. I think
Good, come to the mic.
It helps.
Okay, for those in YouTube land who didn't hear this, this is not on the program today, but Karen had asked me earlier if there was something I wanted to say at this service. And I am inspired this morning with gratitude, and I'd like to express that gratitude to our leaders in this community. I'd like to say thank you to Reverend Karen and Imam Jamal and Sally Joe, who is also our treasurer, faithfully, year in, year out, and Michael Douglas. Thank you. Can we give them a round of applause?
Thank you, Joey. So, in our order of service, it explains here that I'm going to talk about our guiding council. And I'm just going to say a few words, but you should all remember that the guiding council is the most unique aspect of our community, as well as our interfaith worship experiences that we create here. But the guiding council is created by members, officers, we have officers because it's required by the federal government and the state government for us to maintain our nonprofit status. So their title is just functional. In addition, the members, so our quorum for our guiding council is 4 members, 2 officers, and 1 minister. But the thing is, what's so important about the guiding council is that all of the decisions for the community happen at that hierarchical experience. 4 members, 2 officers, and 1 minister. And everyone can be an officer if you choose to. And this is the time of year that we elect our new officers to serve for a year at least. Some officers have shared for years, like Sally Jo has been our treasurer, working with David Heitmiller when he was with us. And it's valuable. That is our structure. But the real basis is the 4 members who make the practical decisions and the spiritual decisions within the Guiding Council as to what happens here. And believe it or not, you are those people. You are our members. You are the people who affect the future of our community and help us sustain our community. One of the things we need to look at here as members is what will sustain our community into the future, beyond us, opening up a door for those who will follow after us. And if the future members value our values, if we have a match there, it's possible it can continue. And of course, we are all volunteers here. And so the amount of commitment that's involved affects not only us as individuals, finding a place to serve with our heart, to serve with our intelligence, to serve with our vision and inspiration. This happens through the structure of the Guiding Council. One of the unique things about our Guiding Council is too that we invite friends. Now, friends are not making voting, but they're offering their suggestions, their ideas. So everyone is invited to the Guiding Council. And it meets only once a month. And we actually could meet every week because there is so much to be accomplished. But this is an appeal for you to understand how important the Guiding Council is. It's also an opportunity for us to learn things like circular leadership. And that can serve us not only in this community, but when we are interacting and serving in other communities and into the future. And these are the transformative practices that are practical and spiritual that can change the world. So I'm looking forward to all of you attending the Guiding Councils. It's on the first Sunday each month. Today we have our annual membership meeting. Once a year we do try to gather, and thank you all for coming. But I'd like to reintroduce you to our current officers who are holding these responsibilities. And so I'm going to invite Chris Repsevich to come join us, Sally Jo Gilbert DeVargas, and Janine Kieft to come and join us here. So yes, I think, thank you for serving.
That's fine. Okay. Yes. Okay, yeah, very good. Well, good morning again, everyone. And I was thinking a long time about what I should say today, and I know that every moment I'm one of the luckiest people on the planet. Not just because I married well, but also that many years ago I came to this space and just out of the blue, there was a story in a newspaper that used to be published called Common Ground, and they did a story about alternative religious practices. And at the time, this space was called the New Age Christian Church, and I came here and found some family that I could join, and came back and forth and didn't come every Sunday. But then in 1999, approximately, Karen Lindquist, Jamal Rahman, and some other folks from the Circle of Love also joined us. and this place really blossomed. And I'm very proud to be a part of it over these years, because as you know, I probably read the news too much. I think that there's a lot of division that different parts of society are allowing to flourish, and I'm proud that we, on the other hand, have held this space as a space for all faiths, as I read from David's poem, to be able to showcase themselves, share with us. We share our practices with them, and as Guiding Council President, I don't see my role as of an extreme importance. I see myself as more of a sacred cheerleader, where I just try to, I think it's incumbent on all of us to show up, and I'm honored to have so many wonderful faces here looking back at me today, and God bless all of those and viewing us on the internet. So showing up is important for all of us, but as the president, one thing that I always try to do is just come as often as I can to support our community, to support others who visit our community and share in their practices, and you know, try to herd the cats once in a while otherwise, if you know what I mean. So, and that's not really any difficulty at all. I'm proud to be able to have done it. This is my third term as president. I'd be proud to continue again, but I'd also be very honored to support whoever decided to step up and be in this role, and still continue to do that and support in whatever way I can. I thank you. I don't want to go on too much. We've obviously heard a lot of wonderful things about this community in the past year, and I really am glad to be on this wonderful team. These two women and all the folks that were already thanked really make this job, I'd say a piece of cake, but it's really just a great joy, and I'm glad to have served, and if it's called upon me to continue to serve, I'll do that as long as needed. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Just say.
So I'm Janine Keefe, and it's been my honor to have finally stepped up a little bit, because I've been kind of a bit of a member around the edges, more than I would like. And it's been really enjoyable to kind of be at the heart of things and see what's going on, and have a voice now and then to add my thoughts. I would say that it does feel richer the more people are there, and also I feel that the end product is a little richer too, just because everyone brings their experiences and their ideas and their inspirations. So I would encourage people to come. I've enjoyed doing it. I've done most of them. I'm grateful to the people who pinch hit for me when there were times when I wasn't able to do it. And it's fun. I'm willing to keep doing it, but also more than happy to have somebody step up instead of me, or work with me, or ask about what the role is, or anything like that. So anyway, I'm grateful to be part of this community, and thank you all.
Thank you, Janine. In your modesty, you didn't mention that you're the secretary of the council, and you take the minutes every month and gets them out to the membership, so if anybody did have to miss the meeting, or if they were there and forgot exactly what was discussed or decided, it's all there in writing. And as Karen said, that is also a requirement of the state of Washington, so that we have a record of our work here. And thank you again, Janine, for that. My first volunteer opportunity at Interfaith Community Sanctuary back in 2004 5 was to offer to become the secretary, and it was a wonderful opportunity to step in. And as Karen mentioned, 4 guiding council members, but that's just the absolute minimum we have to run our meeting. We could have 24 members, and we would like to have, and like on our first Sunday, we love to have more people at the guiding council meetings, as Janine was saying, helping make our decisions and so on. I'm the treasurer, as everybody's mentioned, and have been for some time. And I'm going to give a full treasurer's report at the meeting downstairs, because that's required also that we see. But I do want to say the good news is the last 2 months we've been kind of a little bit in the red and running a little, and I've been a little nervous because every year since I've been treasurer, we've never ended up in the red, having spent more money than we earned. And I was nervous, and Gretchen was over at my house on the 29th, and I was running and getting deposits and looking at the bank statement and trying to see, are we going to make it? It's not that we don't have money in the bank, it's that where we have earned at least as much as we spent. That's my goal every year, to make sure that we earn as much as we spend. And other people, they're afraid to talk about money. I don't mind talking about money, because it isn't my money, right? It's everybody. It's our community's money, right? And yes, indeed, we did come out ahead, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give a hand to all of us. Not by a whole lot. I don't think it was even by $100, but it was a hit. It was black, not red. And I like black better than red as a treasurer. You will too if you ever get to do my job. Anyway, we had many, many people from all over the country, and especially with our wider audience online. We have people donating online, a lot more people donating monthly, regularly. We have people who come now, and the services are getting a little more well attended. We have the folks who give classes and workshops in the sanctuary. They ask for love donations, and we often get very regularly, we get what we get, but the bills have to be paid whether we're here or not in person. And the bills, like the light and the heat and all the work that goes on in the building, and the property tax for the parking lot, and a business tax for having a business in Seattle, all those things have to get paid whether we're having people to come or not. So come to the council meetings, hear more about what we're doing and in the service area and in the spiritual area, as well as in the business area, because it's all interconnected. And you'll find that out if you join us. So thank you again. This is going to fall Seems like I've been talking a lot today. This is going to be short. Karen has asked me to talk a little bit about our spiritual discernment and how it is a spiritual practice for us as a community. And most of you here come regularly enough to know a little bit about how every year our ministerial staff chooses a pathway, a spiritual, a subject matter, and something to explore as a community. And we have been exploring the Divine Feminine and the Divine Mother, encountering the Divine Mother this year in 2022, or last year. Every year we have a new sacred intention, and it goes throughout the year, and it serves as like a theme for many of our services, our workshops. Maybe we read books around the topic and explore them in smaller groups. We ask guest speakers to come in and share their ideas about the topic, and as a result, we go deeper into it. And I like the fact that it ties together. You know, we're very into diversity. We like diversity and diverse viewpoints, but what about unity? Well, this is what brings us to a unity, where we can talk about and contemplate about one subject from all the different angles and see how it comes together, like the blind people exploring the elephant. You know, we're all at a different part of it, exploring it, explaining how we are interpreting it and understanding it, and then as a community we come together and we gain our own deeper understanding. And what I've found is even when I'm not in ICS or when I'm not involved in any activity with ICS, I've still got that theme going in my head and trying to understand more about it on a deeper level and how it applies to my life. So I encourage you to listen when Michael's going to describe our theme for this coming year and start thinking about how will this apply to me and my spiritual life this coming year. Thank you.
Doing a lot of moving the mic around today. It's good training. So, oh wow, I've been sitting in the back of the room and now I'm like looking at all of your faces. It's so cool. Wow. You're just so beautiful. I haven't seen this many people in this room for a while. Thank you. Anyway, next year we are moving into a new discernment, and we're calling it Transforming the Body, Heart, and Mind. And we've been working for the last couple years on some pretty deep and wide-ranging inquiries into things, into the spiritual path, and we've asked a lot of questions. You know, what do we mean by the things we're talking about? What is service? What is the Divine Mother? Where is that in our lives? You know, and we've done a lot of very intense inquiry, I think, and very fruitful. And we're moving into a little bit more of a pragmatic mode to really work with our bodies and our hearts and our minds, and how do we transform these? What are the practical steps that we take in our lives to transform ourselves? And we're going to take these things individually, as it were. We're going to do, you know, for instance, in January, this month, we're doing the body. And then next month we'll do the heart, and next month we'll do the mind, and then in April we'll come back to the body. And we'll work with this over the seasons, sort of in a traditional map of the spiritual path. You know, beginning with purification or discovery, going through, you know, a kind of striving, and then a kind of grace, and then a kind of integration. And we'll use a kind of map of the spiritual path that's very common across many, many traditions, or we'll develop that as we go. What else is there to say about that? You know, the spiritual path is not linear, but it has patterns of growth that we can learn to recognize. It's kind of like a spiral. You know, you start out as a beginner. This is true of any process where you're actually growing and transforming. You know, you start out as a beginner, and then you come to a place where you're practiced. You know, you've got kind of the basic skills down, and you're working it. And then there's a place where everything just kind of comes together, and you're doing it, you know? And, of course, that's usually a place where you go, oh, I'm doing it, and then you fall, you know? So, you know, there's a whole integrating how the fact that you're doing it into your actual life. And it's, as I said, it's not a start here and end here path. It's more like a spiral staircase, because you keep going, I'm doing it, and you fall, and you get back up again, and you're a beginner again. And so we'll be working with getting a feel for recognizing that process in our lives in these different ways. So I'm hoping that this year will be very, that we can use our collective wisdom to really help each other out, to really share practices, share what works for us. There's an unfortunate tendency in our culture that I think is really changing, of considering the spiritual path as a sort of self-improvement project. And we don't really do this for ourselves. You know, we have a huge effect on the world, each one of us. Each one of us has a huge effect on the world, no matter what we're doing. And it's a negative or a positive effect. And it's our responsibility, really, to have, to leave the place better than we found it, in whatever way. And another point there about it's not just about us as individuals is, I think many of us have come to realize that the evolution of humanity is a collective project. And we've all got our part, and that part connects with everybody else's part in just the most magical ways. And so that's what we'll be focusing on this year, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
This is a very new song. I think I was inspired by the sun when I was walking through the woods the other day. Feeling so much, I guess I just was feeling love from the sun in a very, very profound way. So then I wrote a song. All is well in love and beauty, light upon light, light upon light, light upon light. All is well in love and beauty, light upon light, light upon light upon light. All is well in love and beauty, light upon light, light upon light, light upon light. All is well in love and beauty, light upon light. Light upon light upon light. All is well in love and beauty, light upon light. Light upon light, light upon light. All is well in love and beauty, light upon light. Light upon light upon light. All is well in love and beauty, light upon light. Light upon light, light upon light. All is well in love and beauty, light upon light. Light upon light upon light. All is well in love and beauty, light upon light. Light upon light, light upon light. All is well in love and beauty, light upon light. Light upon light upon light. All is well in love and beauty, light upon light. Light upon light, light upon light. All is well in love and beauty, light upon light. Light upon light upon light. All is well in love and beauty, light upon light. Light upon light, light upon light. All is well in love and beauty, light upon light. Light upon light upon light.
This is not on our program, but we're offering a ritual portion for today. And we decided to gather some candles together, and Chris will be passing them around, and we're going to be lighting intentions for the new year.
I wanted to say why I brought that lamp down. Some of you may have heard when we first the millennium first turned and we had become Interfaith Community Church at the time, all on the 7 continents, flames of peace and good fellowship were lit, and they were gathered into one flame and distributed throughout the world to places of love and peace like we are. And that lamp there represents that international peace flame. So together we're going to light our candles from that flame.
And on the way into the sanctuary today, a chant came to me, so I'll be singing that during the candle lighting. And Chris will be passing candles out. And if everyone could take a candle and then light it from the flame there. New year, new cheer, time to manage. manifest our dreams. My dreams, your dreams will come true. New year, new cheer, time for happiness, good health, more wealth. God is good. New year, new cheer, time to manifest your dreams. My dreams will come true. New year, new cheer, time for happiness, good health, more wealth. God is good. New year, new cheer, time to manifest your dreams. My dreams will come true. New year, new cheer, time for happiness, good health, more wealth. God is good. New year, new cheer, time to manifest your dreams. My dreams will come true. New year, new cheer, time for happiness, good health, more wealth. God is good. New year, new cheer, time to manifest your dreams. My dreams will come true. Good health, more wealth. God is good. New year, new cheer, time to manifest your dreams. My dreams will come true. New year, new cheer, time for happiness, more wealth, more health. God is good. Okay, if everyone could close their eyes. Think about all the wonderful things you want to bring into your life this year. And be grateful for all the blessings we've already received. And to all those watching, the center candle has been lit, and that is the flame for your desires and wishes to come true. And to remind ourselves to be the light for those that are in darkness, that this time of year is hard for them, and share your love and your light with them. And for all of those that have passed and are no longer with us, guide us this new year and protect us and open our minds to the possibilities, so mote it be.
I'm going to explain one thing. Now that you have this candle, when you go home, you can transfer this light into a candle at home. And you can continually transfer to another light, so it will never go out for you. And the only other advice for this world peace flame is to not blow it out with your breath, but to wave it out. So when it comes time for us to put the flame out, let it not be melted, wax again, and then you can take it home. So we'll do that whenever we're ready. We might be ready now. Okay, so let's wave it out, because it'll drip wax for a while. No, I'm going to keep it.
Oh, I see. So, my dear friends, I'm looking at the time, and you'll be happy to know I'll be extraordinarily brief today. But I do want to give some insights. One is, as I look at the time, can we remind ourselves both literally and metaphorically of that wisdom of those words, it's later than you think. That's number one. Number two, like today, can we always be flexible? And my most favorite wisdom is, blessed are the flexible, for they will never be bent out of shape. I do just want to say a few words. One is, I remember, Karen, you might remember, in 1992, I think it was, myself and Karen, maybe just a few other people, we were, shall I say, fantasizing or visioning, setting sacred intentions. About what? About really creating community, having a yearning for community. You know, there's a wonderful saying by Rumi, don't seek water. There is no need to seek water. Simply increase your thirst, and water will gush from above and below. No need to seek water. Simply increase your thirst, and water will gush from above and below. And this yearning that we had, myself, Karen, and I forget who else was there, my goodness, believe me, it manifested in the circle of love. A community that met in different people's homes. We had classes, worship services, retreats, different programs, sometimes even more active than we are here. And then we realized we're increasing in number. We need a place. Once again, fantasizing, a place. Wow, it requires money, it requires expertise. And this place manifested. Gifted to us for free. You might not think it's a big deal. For us, it was gifted to the congregation. And by the way, the only two people who were there before us are Chris and Lila. And I want you to clap for them for one reason. Besides many other reasons, they never seem to grow old. You know, what I'm really saying is this process of visioning, sacred intentions, really yearning for something, both individually and collectively, can really be magical. I yearn to write books. I had no idea what to do, publishing houses, this and that. I'm now on my 9th book. I yearn to speak in different places. What manifested? The Interfaith Amigos, taking us all over the country, even overseas. You see, I'm not talking about accomplishments. I'm talking about the incredible joy, the beauty, the magic of connecting with the mystery of the universe by truly yearning, having that thirst. And what I've realized is, it has its roots. I love metaphors. I love this metaphor by Rumi who says, Jamal, you're searching among the branches and leaves for what appears at the roots. The leaves and the branches grow according to the roots. So to give power to this yearning, to this thirst, it is incumbent on us to do what? The inner inconvenient work of becoming a more complete human being, transforming our ego from a commanding master into a personal assistant, purifying the heart, polishing the heart so it reflects the face of Allah in that. That gives power, that gives so much more empowerment to our thirst, our yearning. The other thing I want to say is I've realized in my life, now that my hair has become white, the greatest joy is the joy of community, family, friends. That's why I love those words. A wall standing alone is useless. Add to it other walls, it can support a roof, even a granary. Only when the ink joins with the pen can the blank paper say something. So for me, the greatest joy has been really the joy of community, family, and friends. So my yearning is that may this place, Interfaith Community Sanctuary, be a sacred center for community where we really help one another to evolve into the fullness of our being, to become more Christ-like, Buddha-like, Elohim-like, so we can be of authentic service to God's creation. May this be a place where we truly help one another to find our passion, to have meaning in life. Remember those words of Tagore? I spend my days and nights stringing and unstringing my instrument, but the song I came here to sing remains unsung. Can we help one another in really finding for each one of us our passion? And then to really join together in being of service to God's creation, to be a lamp, a lifeboat, or a ladder. It doesn't have to be dramatic, but if you do it all together, it can have an incredible impact. So right now, just for a few seconds, ask yourself, what is one quality, either ego trait I want to reduce, or a divine quality I want to expand? Just choose one, and just be with that for a few moments. Yearn for that. Have a thirst for that. Oh God, I shall cry to thee and cry to thee and cry to thee until the milk of thy loving kindness boils over. Please help me in deepening, if it's a divine quality within me, or if it's something I want to let go, I let go. But what is it? Just be with that for a few seconds. Deepen that yearning, let it splash in your heart. Okay, and I want to tell you one thing. We have done this over the years, and people have come and told me, for example, my sacred intention was I wanted to become patient, more patient. And oh my God, the moment I stepped out, the next hour, the next week, some crisis happened. Is this a punishment from God, bad luck? No, this is the universe's compassionate way of helping us, giving us an opportunity to build my spiritual muscle of patience. Remember, I asked for it. So just be aware of that. The other thing I'd like you to visualize, I'll end with that, is how do you feel Interfaith Community Sanctuary could be of assistance to you in you fulfilling your inner inconvenient work, connecting with your life mission, with you being of service? That's one part. We want to hear your ideas. Your thinking, your aspirations. But along with that, let us know how you can help us. Contribute to that. Be an integral part of it. Because we're all interconnected. See, in my classes, I always say we are teachers and students alike. How can you contribute? You have talents, you have ideas, you have skills. You might have energy, you might have time. Just be with that. Okay, let me just end with a chant. Allahu Allah. Since I'm a chant junkie and this is my opportunity, we're all here together. Allahu Allah. Allahu Allah. Allahu Allah. Allahu Allah. Allahu Allah. Allahu Allah. Just the women, please. Just the men, please. Allahu Allah. Allahu Allah. Once softly. Allahu Allah. Allahu Allah. Twice aloud. Allahu Allah. Allahu Allah. Allahu Allah. Allahu Allah. So my dear friends, in ending, what is my greatest wish for myself and for you? Something you have heard again and again and again, something which Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he said, you know, Jamal, when you arrived here from the invisible world, everybody around you was laughing and smiling, but you were crying and weeping. Live such a life. Live such a life that when you depart for the invisible world, everybody around you is crying and weeping, but you are laughing and smiling. So maybe have ICS help us in doing that. Amen. Thank you. Oops, this goes here. Do you have one more song?
So we want to talk about next Sunday is Universal Worship. We hope you can come back. We also would like to do a collection, if we may. Thank you, Sally Jo. And to remind you, as Sally Jo mentioned earlier, that we have ongoing gatherings at the sanctuary, and we'd love for you to join us for any of those and support them. And you can find them all out on the website. We also have a section we call Sharing Our Hearts. But since we've gone over time today, I'm suggesting that as we enjoy our potluck downstairs, that maybe we could share with one another. Does that sound reasonable? Okay. I think we're getting hungry. So I have a closing prayer, and they're in your program. Two prayers I chose for us today, but I invite one of you to read one and another of you to read another one. And we have a microphone. So please raise your hand. They're in your program if you'd like to read the closing prayers. Thank you. Here. The stand-up one. Thank you.
To come home to yourself. May all that is unforgiven in you be released. May your fears yield their deepest tranquilities. May all that is unlived in you blossom into a future graced with love.
And we have one more closing prayer.
Eternal God, you gave us the greatest gift, the gift of life. In the coming year, help us use it wisely. May we grow in generosity, kindness, and forgiveness, hope, faith, and love. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, everyone. You think we need to ring the bell?
Okay, my dear friends, Reverend Karen tells me that once I ring this bell, you are unconvened. You can be unfrozen.